Okay, so fun stuff today. We get to start tearing down the toaster. This should be fun. So let's get started. On the bottom, we've got a 1/4" screw. We'll use the handy dandy power driver for this. We also have this awesome crumb tray, which is pretty gross. We'll definitely have to clean that off. And we have the guts of the toaster, which is really, really disgusting. Really, really disgusting. But we're gonna throw all that away anyway, so that's not that bad. So did that do anything here? Okay, so that loosened the front panel, but not entirely. It's still bolted internally. Gross. I have little charred crumblies coming out. Ew. So add some more screws on this guy here. These are shorter, so we'll put them separate. I should probably also invest in one of those magnet parts layout sheets with the if I can find a clip, I'll put it in the video here. But it's basically a magnetic tray that's dry erase that you can write what the parts are on it. I should get one of those because I would definitely get use out of it. Okay, oh crap, that was a short one. We may have to get a little further in before we can actually take off. Or just pull it harder. There we go. This is the latch on the front of this thing. It's literally just a pressure tension piece of metal that holds it against this little tab here. And now we get the first look at the actual electronics of the toaster, which we're throwing away, but it's always fun to see things like this. So we got a lever. Oh right, because they're upside down. Okay. So a lever pulls down, it's spring loaded, hooked to, there's a, looks like a heated timer. I'm not sure. But we do need to see how this lever actually interconnects, because I'd really like to keep the lever as the like power button. Or maybe like down power up to eject. So I'd like to keep as much of that intact as possible. But all of the rest of the guts we can throw away. Oh, this is so gross. Just burnt toast all over my desk. Oh. One of the reasons I went with a toaster this old also is because it's a lot easier to take apart. The newer ones, they snap together in a lot of places. I took one apart a couple years ago for this same idea, and the internals just made it completely unusable. But it was also a little shorter, so you couldn't fit the drive in right side up. It was not good. So here's our shroud. It's kind of pretty. My cool pix is turned off, so I guess it actually wasn't recording this whole time. So we'll just hope my phone's working. Okay. Looks like the power switch, or this mechanism goes all the way to the back of the, all the way to the back. It actually has a pin here that it pivots on. So I'm gonna have to leave some of the structure intact to keep that, which I'm not too happy about. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. This is the other middle piece we took off a second ago. Alright, so we've got one toaster tray out. It's really gross. This is just going in the... I don't want to throw it on the floor. If I throw it on the floor, I have to vacuum. Because I have carpet. Not by choice. I rent. But that's a whole separate story. Oh, look at that. It's so disgusting. It's one of the sad parts about the way I do things. If you know anything about me, I like saving money, so I shop at the Goodwill a lot. And this was like $5 at Goodwill. Also, I did go to Walmart and look at like the new toasters that are like $15–20 range to see if there were any that were any nicer, any better quality, or just bigger. But apparently the trend, at least right now, is to make small a toaster as possible. And we need real estate to put all these electronics in here. So we couldn't do that. That's gonna take a bigger bit. Let's see. Yeah, that should do. It's actually a fun setup. I have a screwdriver adapter into big bit into little bit, so I don't have to use a ratchet because I'm lazy. This is probably a rod that goes through because there's a nut and washer on the other side. This probably pulls all the way out. That's very nice. I was actually thinking I would need some long bolts to help secure things, so that's fantastic. Oh, there's spin on the other side. Luckily it wasn't tight enough that I couldn't just stick my fingers on it. We have a wire. That wire was connected to this screw we just took off. So that probably just provides a power connection for these grids. Look at that, beautiful, beautiful heating element. Don't know if we're going to do anything with these yet. I could do all kinds of things with heating elements, but most of them are extremely dangerous, so I'll have to see what I can get approved by my lady, because she doesn't approve of fire hazards usually, so. I mean, I don't blame her, but it cuts down on some of the fun that we can have. Oh, this is so gross. These are cool little pieces. I'll have to take those to the sink and scrub them off, because we may reuse these as little adjoining sections and wash washers that go through the bottom. We won't be able to use this exact placing on them, but we may be able to like go through a screw hole and then into the motherboard screw holes and space them apart or something. I would like to be able to do that. Don't know if it's possible or not. I think these are bigger than the screw holes, which on the disk drive isn't that big of a deal. We can just screw it and drill it out and it'll be fine, but on the motherboard, that's not really an option. I mean, you can drill into motherboards, but I would not recommend it under any circumstances. Because you're probably just going to kill it. Oh, a little insulator here. I'm not sure what that's for. Just fell off just now. Alright, so there's our frame. We still have working plunger and all that stuff. The idea is, so this pushes down when we actuate. So the idea is we're going to put a momentary switch underneath this little plunger here. So when it goes down, it goes momentary switch, turn on the Wii. And that's literally the only button that I've figured out how to map so far. But I figured out one, that's something, isn't it? So we've got power, reset, sync, and eject to figure out what to do with. Let's mount it to this board. So we have our buttons. There's one. I don't know if you can see it. There's a really, really tiny button in there. Right there. That's our power button. No, that's eject. Then we got power, reset, and somewhere in here, I can't see it. That guy is our controller sync. It's a little important. We might want to turn that on. So, I think the idea is we go in here. Yeah, something like that. So, got enough room to drop right in there. We'll have to do some trimming on these other sections, but they're not directly affecting what we're trying to do. As long as we don't have to cut into this base plate here, I think we're going to be okay no matter how much we take out. Because this is a lot more solid than I would have thought 10 minutes ago. So that is really good news. So I'll put us there at flush. I think that will just fit once we get the shell off this thing. And that's going to be really close through here. This board is so close on that. We might be able to get away with leaving this bit in here, dropping straight in, but we'll need to take this apart first. Also, I need to charge my drill to get these rivets out of here. I keep forgetting to do that, and it takes like a full day to charge. It's terrible, which is not good because it's like the only free day I have for a couple of days. But I have all day, so I think we'll go stick the drill on charge, and then we'll come back and we'll get this off of the backer. So probably also gonna take this to the sink and just kind of brush it off in there, and I'll just kind of clean up these other parts as I need them, if I need them. Well, I'll save the cleaning up until I actually need to, because the more I work on this, the more crap it's going to throw on my desk, and there's no point in vacuuming multiple times here. I'll just get all the dust in a pile and keep going. So I'm going to pause here, go through the drill on charge, and come back and we'll take a look at this thing. Also, I need some coffee. It's pretty early in the morning and stayed up way too late last night, so yeah. Be right back. Okay, we're back. Have coffee. Yay, coffee. And the drill is on charge, so half the battle is done. So we're gonna dig into this guy now. God, it's driving me crazy. If you guys have any suggestions of how to make my stupid screwdriver stand other than just sticking a piece of tape on the shafts, which is probably what I'm gonna do if it keeps bothering me, then I would love to hear it. Let me know in the comments. You guys are all pretty smart, so I'll be glad for any input. I don't think we'll be reusing that, but always keep all of your parts until you're completely done. Very important advice, guys. If you start throwing away parts before you're done with the project entirely, then you can really screw yourself over. Okay, I went back to the big bed, it was easier. There's another little bitty one here. One of those black screws in the shadows on a black piece of plastic. I just happened to catch it at the right angle to see the reflection on it. I can't tell if there's one in here or not. Wait, I have a flashlight. Aha. Yeah, there's one in there. There's another one in the corner there I didn't see. The rest of these I did see. Oh, there's another one there. I didn't see that one at all. This is my super awesome X-Files flashlight from Loot Crate, which is literally just a dollar store flashlight that they stuck the X-Files logo on. So I was a little mad about that, but it's super handy and it saved me $8. I think it came with batteries too, so $2. I do have some pathetic notoriety of, hey, this is an X-Files screwdriver, not just a dollar store screwdriver. On the grand, if I bought a dollar store screwdriver, why am I saying screwdriver? Flashlight. Wow. More coffee. More coffee. That's why I'm saying screwdriver instead of flashlight. So we're snagged here. I'm not sure where. This guy trying to come out. I got the little screw out of there. Okay, there's a wire here for the Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. I don't know which one that is offhand. If you didn't know, the Wii actually uses Bluetooth for its controllers. It's not any kind of special proprietary thing. It's just standard Bluetooth, which is pretty awesome. I actually had a project a couple years ago where I was using the Raspberry Pi as a gaming center, and I managed to get one of my Bluetooth adapters to read the Wii controllers, so I could actually use the wireless like Wii Classic controllers for all of my retro gaming, and that was super sweet. I will probably be doing something like that again. I'm actually going to be at some point upgrading the Raspberry Pi 64, which I'll put a link to in the video description. And I'll probably put a card there too, so I'll annotate the video with that. It'll be in the corner of the screen. I don't know which way is which. It'll be in one of the corners, a little eye icon. It'll be a card to the Raspberry Pi 64. So you guys can all go check it out on my blog from before I started the YouTubes. So that is probably just getting discarded. Oh, this is kind of gross. The heatsink in here is pretty much just a straight shot of aluminum with some aluminum fins that the fan pulls the air across, but it does so through negative pressure, so it like sucks air out of the case So it gets really, really dusty, and I don't think I personally don't like that design. I like having positive air pressure so that it keeps the dust out. Like they designed it so it would suck the air in through the hole and then across the heat sinks, but that's not how air pressure works. Like it's going to come in through every single hole in the entire case, not just that one little slot. I mean, granted, it's going to go through that slot a lot more than it will the other areas because it's open, there's less resistance, but it is still going to come in from other areas because physics. Yeah, let's just throw that piece in the floor. We're not eating it. Yeah, I meant to throw that on the floor. I wasn't just being clumsy. Coffee. Let's just stop and think about this for a minute because it's been a while since I've been in one. Some awesome new coffee cup. It's not new at all, but I have been on camera before. My dad got me this. It's actually waterproof. It's a little valve on it. It's vacuum sealed and super awesome and pretty expensive. I would never actually buy one for myself because it's expensive, but it was a present and my dad's pretty awesome. So yay, thanks Dad. I don't think he actually watches these, but if he does, cool, thanks. I think it was actually stuck because of the dust on it. There we are. Oh, there was some heatsink compound here as well, so they are doing this for some syncing for the Wi-Fi module, yeah. So we will, if we don't reuse this EMI shield, we will need to put some form of heatsink on the Wi-Fi because it's going to get hot. This is pretty cool. They just took a standard heatsink and just milled the top of it off to make this shape. You can see the little ridges in there. Hadn't noticed that before. So we're down to just the board now. I was checking to see if we could get this off without taking the main processor heatsink off, and it is screwed to the base, so we'll have to take that off as well. So let's do that. All right, big cushy thing here. This is covering the contacts on the power so that we don't short out to the base plate ever. We'll probably want to hang on to that because we're going to have to do something similar when we get this mounted. One of the things I don't like about the Wii internally is it's all just this one big board. So it will either fit completely or not at all. And that's not how I like to build things. Did this screw into the plastic or into the plastic, of course. So that means we're actually gonna have to cut out this piece here to use as the back plate for the processor heatsink, which is fine. It's just annoying. So this is gonna go in. Let's see if we have enough room in the toaster now with the shrouds off, all the plastic off. Probably can't see that. Let's try that again. Aha. So yeah, we are gonna have to take these guys off to even get it lined up temporarily. But in other news, that'll put this about here. Oh. So this doesn't appear to be directional. So I think it went on originally like that. So it went on originally like that. So that meant that we couldn't get our slots lined up. But this doesn't look directional, so maybe I'll just flip this over. And that lines up almost perfectly. That means we don't have to, in theory, we don't have to desolder these, and those pins are not fun to desolder. I can do it. It's not that hard to do. It's just getting the wires back onto the pins once they're relocated is, let's just go with difficult. Not, well, difficult's not the right word. It's more of a pain than it's worth, I guess. So I guess we can do that. Yeah, look at that. Can you see them sticking up? Probably. So that there, back panel on, I think we just saved ourselves a ton of work just by noticing that this thing can flip around. Fan-freaking-tastic. So, I guess the next step is to get the drill charged, which is going to take several hours. We'll then come in, pop out these rivets, drill out these rivets here to get this thing out of the way, and then we'll get the rivets back here to get this side piece out of the way. That, what does that do? Oh, I think that may actually be our power connector back there. Can you guys see that? So back here in the back, there's this little, come on, there's this little switch back here, and when you push down the plunger here, bridges the contacts, and I think that is our actual power switch, which makes sense because that's where the live wires come in, and it bridges them across to this, so this is temperature control. Yeah. So as long as we can keep this, ooh, but will that work with the board over here? Easy solution, we move the board over here. And then we can reuse that switch too. And that like just fits in there beautifully. That's wonderful. Looks good. So change of plan, we're gonna move this guy over here, which actually almost fits already, even before we've cut any holes in this thing. So once we get these holes cut out, we can just pop this back panel on with this in place, and it's good to go. We need to find a way to mount this to the main structure without shorting anything out or snapping anything. Shouldn't be that hard. Alright, so I think we're going to stop here. The next part will be, once the drill is charged, like I said, we'll knock these bits out here. I'm going to go to generic hardware store name here. I don't know if I can name brand names of stores on the internet, but it will be local hardware store. And we'll get some bits from my coping saw so we can get this plastic a lot easier. I'll need the drill to start those holes too to get these guys cut out. So yeah, we'll be going to a local hardware store to get a coping saw. I had a coping saw, get blades for the coping saw to get those cutouts done. Don't forget the fan. We'll be cutting out the back plate for the processor heatsink. We're also going to need to salvage the back plate for the fan, because the fan screws in this too, and it will have to be screwed down to do anything. And that should be the next step. Then we'll start figuring out how to get the power working, how to get, by that point I will probably have come up with some solution for the reset button, eject button, Bluetooth sync, and memory card slots. Memory card slots can be a pain too, because that's not going to go through the metal unless I cut the metal out. And I really don't want to do that. And it's, I don't feel like counting those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12, 18, 24 pins plus the mounts. So that's a lot of rewiring to do. I can do it, I just don't want to. I don't have to. So that's it for now. Hit like on the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, subscribe, leave comments, let me know what you guys think about it, and I'll see you in the next one.